which is the order quantity, and capital N, which is the number of orders per year. Correct? What is Q? Q is the optimal order quantity. I'll use a slightly different shade of orange here and a slightly different shade of orange here. Okay, fine. So my style of using Excel is wherever I have to feed in information, that is manually, if I have to enter information, I'll use a shade of blue. Wherever I'm going to write a formula, I'll use a shade of orange. Okay, hope you're with me. Now, tell me, for the order quantity Q, what is the formula that I have to use? You can see here, square root of 2kd by h. In Excel, how do I write that formula? Excel. I hope everybody understands. In Excel, a formula always starts with an equal to. Okay, a formula will always start with an equal to. Fine. In this case, I have a square root. So I'll start with that. In Excel, for square root, you can see SQRT. I hope you're with me. Please definitely try along with me. Shall I move on? Square root of. Now look at this. In my numerator, I have 2K and D, the product of the three. Correct? Which means open another bracket. 2 multiplied by, this is K. I just went and clicked there. Multiplied by D. Again, I went and clicked there. You can see the range name is being used here in the formula. I hope you can see what has happened. Divided by H. How am I saying that this H is a range name? You can see this symbol here. I hope you're with me. Can you see my screen? You can see the symbol here, a table kind of a symbol. If you're using an older version of Excel, let's say 2010 or 2013 version of Excel, you will be able to see an yellow color tag, right? Instead of this table, you will be able to see an yellow color label symbol, right? If you see an yellow color label symbol or a table like this, what does it mean? It means that this is a user defined range name. You can see another thing here, FX. What does this mean? This FX, what does it mean?
Formula functions.
Formula.
It's an inbuilt Excel function or a formula. Okay, this is inbuilt in Excel. This blue color table or an yellow color label, it means user created range name. Okay, so you can see if I had not used the range name here, instead of this K, D, and H, what else I would have had? If I did not use this range name, what will I have? I'll have something like this: F4, C4, D4, D10, and so on.
Cell range.
Right? You will only have the cell range. This is more neat and elegant. If you have the cell range, it will become extremely difficult for you to debug. I hope you're with me, right? So this is one advantage of giving a range name. You can see the optimal order quantity. Similarly, this cell I'll name as capital Q. And this cell I'll name as capital N. So to name, what should I do? Select the cell, go to the name box, type the name, press enter. Now tell me, number of orders. Here, what should I write? Formula? T by Q divided by
T by Q.
Q, which is 6. With me? Shall we move on? I hope everybody has got this. Yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll now move to this side. Okay. First, what do I need? I need the reorder point. Okay. Next, the annual setup costs, the annual holding costs, and the total variable cost. Okay. For the reorder point, what will be my formula? So I'm going to write a formula at all these places. So I'll use a shade of orange to indicate that I'm writing a formula. Okay. What will be the formula here? It will be equal to
D into
DG into
1
L.
by W. L by W.
So you can see I am using a bracket for the numerator. I hope you all understand this. I think I need not go this elemental. Many of you are engineers, I believe, right? And almost everybody, irrespective of whether you are engineer or not, the basic mathematics you all might have had, right? So D multiplied by L divided by WD. Okay. So the reorder point in this context is 0. Why? Because the lead time we are assuming as 0 and we don't want any stock out. Okay. What will be the annual setup cost? To be again numerator K multiplied by D by Q. Okay. K multiplied by D divided by Q. I hope you're with me. Fine. Shall we move on? If you have
Yes,
any
sir.
doubt or questions, let me know. Okay. Thank you. So here the annual holding cost will be H multiplied by Q divided by 2. Just have a look at my screen, please. Let's say this particular cell, I want to name it as reorder point. How can I name it? This particular cell, how can I name it as reorder point? Tell me. Option 1, select the cell, go to the name box, type reorder point, press enter. I hope you're with me. This is what we did previously, right? The only thing that you have to keep in mind is when you are typing, for range names, Excel doesn't allow space. So you will have to use reorder underscore point. Okay, that is one way of doing it. I hope you understood. There is a more lazy way, let me say. Okay, I have already typed reorder point, correct? So for those lazy people like me who would not want to type reorder point again, okay, just have a look at my screen carefully. This is the cell that I want to name. Select along with the label. Okay, select along with the label. Press Control Shift F3. Select along with the label. Press Control Shift F3. You can see here, select along with the label, Control Shift F3. In case you are using a gaming laptop or an entertainment based laptop, instead of F3, you may also have to press the fn key. Okay, there is a function key. I hope you all are with me. Otherwise, it will be like volume up, volume down, or brightness control. Okay, depending on your laptop, it might be different, right? So Control Shift function F3. Okay, you would have got this create names from selection, right? So what it says is create names from values in the left column. So understand what does it mean? This is the cell that I want to name. I have selected along with the label. So what will it do? It will use the value in the left column to name this cell. I hope you got the idea. So click OK. And now if you see the drop down, you can see this reorder point. Hope you're with me, right? Similarly, try to name this annual setup cost. Select the cell, select along with the label, Control Shift F3. Similarly, annual holding costs and total variable costs. You can see all the names that you have added would come here. Now, what is the advantage of naming, right? So you can see in this formula that I used, this is the first one, the formula that I used, I can directly see this is very, very elegant, right? The next advantage you can see here, I'm in, let's say the 200 and something row. Okay. I hope you're with me. Just look at my screen. I am in the 200 and something row, right? I want to exactly go to reorder point. So from this drop down, just choose reorder point. It will take you there. Especially when you are working with large Excel file, this will be extremely helpful, right? Similarly, look at this. I am in my 200th row and I want to write a formula using DNQ. Okay. I hope you're with me. Fine. If you had to write a formula, what will you do? You will scroll all the way up and then choose this, right? I hope you're with me. This is how you will do, right? Instead, now what you can directly do is type equal to, let's say I gave the range name reorder point. I can just start typing reorder point. You can see it is coming here, right? Press tab, I can directly use reorder point without scrolling. I hope you understood the advantage, right? So can you get what I'm saying? Yes, no, some response would be helpful. Yes. Yes. So yeah, so
Yes,
if you're
sir.
using
Yes,
a
sir.
very large
Yes,
Excel
sir.
file,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Yes.
Thank you. So if you're using a very large Excel file, right, you need not navigate all the way. This will help you to write formula easily. It will help you to navigate also easily, like what I'm doing. So what will be the total variable cost now? Tell me in words. What is it that we said? Annual setup cost plus annual holding cost. So it will be equal to annual setup cost plus the annual holding cost. Since I have given a range name, you can see all formula, they are very, very elegant. Okay. Otherwise, it would have said G5 plus G6, and God knows what G5 and G6 is, right? So it will take a lot of time for you to debug the formula. So with this, we are done with part A. How many totally brushes should we order and how frequently should we order? Now you tell me, what should I do? What should be my inventory policy? How much should I order? When should I order? So for part A, Robert should order 500 units 6 times per year. If he is doing that, the total variable cost will be equal to 75,000. dollars. Okay. You got the idea? Fine. Okay. We'll pause here. I hope you have created the template. It's almost 11:50 in this clock. We'll follow this clock, okay? Whatever clock that you are seeing on the screen. We'll follow this clock. Please come back by 12. Okay, please come back by 12. I know 15 minutes is the break, but you all started late. Okay, so please come back by 12. We'll begin at 12. Okay, I have a lot of ground to cover. We'll meet at 12 in this clock. Okay, thank you. By that time, ensure that you complete the template. Thank you. We built a basic EOQ template. Now let's look at part B of the scenario. Totally has been experiencing financial problems because the company has lost money trying to branch into producing other personal hygiene products, such as.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಕ್ಕನೇ ಬಂದು ತಕೊಂಡ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿ. ಸತೀಶ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸತೀಶ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು.
Yeah, Pranita, I think your mic is on. Please keep your mic off. Okay. Has lost money trying to branch into producing other personal hygiene products such as hair brushes and dental floss. The company has therefore decided to close the warehouse located 20 miles from Nightingale Drugstore. The drugstore must now place order with the warehouse located 350 miles away and must wait 5 days after it places an order to receive the shipment. So what exactly does this 5 days mean? They have to procure from a different warehouse, which is 350 miles away. Because this is far away, it will take 5 days between the time of order and the time of receiving the shipment. So what exactly is this 5 days?
Lead time.
Thank you. So this 5 days, so now we are looking at part B. Part B is a what if scenario. And here we are looking at a possible lead time. The lead time in this case, L, is equal to 5 days. Given this new lead time, how many total brushes should Robert order each time? And when should he order? How can I answer this? We have a template. In this template, what is going to change?
Lead time.
L.
Lead time L. So instead of 0, what is the new lead time? Is 5.
5
So you
days.
can see automatically what has happened. The reorder point has now changed.
Change.
Is there any change to the optimal order quantity? No. Optimal quantity still remains the same. Why? There is no change to the other costs. Correct? Only the lead time is changing. So because the lead time is changing, I have to reorder the moment my inventory level reaches around 41, 42, I have to reorder, right? So what will be the optimal policy? When the inventory level reaches, it's 41.67, right? So this 41.67 usually will round up just to be on the safer side. So when the inventory level reaches 42 toothbrushes, order for 500 units. Okay, believe this is clear. So because of the lead time, now only my reorder point changes. And since we had that template, it is just a matter of changing this and figuring out what will be the impact, right? Now let's look at the next part. Robert begins to wonder whether he would save money if he allows planned shortages to occur. Now, what do we mean by planned shortages? I know that my customers are willing to wait. Why? Because we are giving at a 20% rate cheaper than the others, right? So if I am consciously making a decision that I am okay with stock out. So for part A, part B, what did we assume? I don't want stock out. I want to satisfy all the customers. Now what are we talking about? I am okay with shortages. That is what we call as planned shortage. Okay. Customers would wait to buy the toothbrush from Nightingale since they have high brand loyalty and since Nightingale sells the toothbrushes for less. Even though customers would wait to purchase the totally toothbrush from Nightingale, they would become unhappy with the prospect of having to return to the store again for the product. Now, this is the problem because just imagine yourself, right? If you are planning to buy one toothbrush, but it's not there, you'll have to travel to the store again, which itself is irritating for many of us, right? Robert decides that he needs to place a dollar value on the negative ramifications from shortages. He knows that an employee would have to calm each disgruntled customer and track down the delivery date for a new shipment of totally toothbrushes. So what exactly is this? If we are planning to go for shortages, there will be additional workload. Okay. The workload will be in terms of these things that I'll have to calm down each customer and then I'll have to follow up on the order. He estimates that an employee would spend an average of 5 minutes with each customer who wishes to purchase a toothbrush when none are currently available. And Nightingale employees are currently paid $8.4 per hour. Let's pause here. Let's try to understand the context in a better way. What are we talking about now? We are talking about planned shortages. So when we talk about planned shortages, I hope you remember this graph that we saw in the PPT, right? So here what happens? 0 is the lowest inventory level, right? Q is what we are ordering, okay? So this is the reorder point. I hope you remember all this. Now, we are talking about planned shortages. So when we talk about planned shortages, in this case, what will happen? On the y-axis, I will still have my inventory level. On the x-axis, I'll have time. Okay. This is 0 inventory. What will I do? I will order Q. If I order Q, what will happen? My inventory will start from here. It will gradually come down to 0. This is what happened previously. If I am allowing shortages, what will happen? I am allowing shortages.
Some point it will be 0.
It will become negative inventory, right? And then what will happen? We'll reach a point where we'll make an order. And once we make an order, it will again come here. It will gradually come down and inventory will become negative and the cycle will continue. I hope you got the idea. Now, what exactly is happening here, right? Now, this particular point, this exactly is not Q. This is the point here. What is Q? Q is your inventory level. So here you have a line, here you have a line. This will be your order quantity Q. Okay. The gap between this and this is your yes. What is yes? Yes is the optimal shortage that you are willing to allow. Okay. I hope you understand the context. Earlier, we didn't allow for any shortages. What do we mean by shortage? Below the inventory level. That is whatever I am not being able to sell currently, I account it as shortage. What does it mean? I'll have to anyway satisfy that demand to the customer. So this yes is nothing but the maximum shortage, or you can also call it as the
Allowed.
optimal maximum shortage that we can allow, right? Now we'll have to determine this also. Okay, just as how we determined Q, we'll have to determine S also. I hope you got the idea how this particular scenario is different from the previous scenario, right? Now, this is the context that we are talking about when we say plant shortage, right? Now, the moment I have shortage, what is this? This is input for your shortage cost. I hope you understand why. Because each time a customer is not happy, I'll have to spend some time with my employees have to spend some time with the customer, right? That is what we mean by here, right? Let's continue reading. Robert also believes that customers would become upset with the inconvenience of shopping at Nightingale and would perhaps begin looking for another store providing better service. This is what we are talking about, right? He estimates the cost of losing customer goodwill and future sales at 1.5 per unit short per year. Now, this particular estimation in real life is actually very, very difficult. And as we are saying, it is only an estimate. Estimates can be right or wrong. We would want our estimates to be right. Okay. Now, given the 5-day lead time and the shortage allowance, how many totally toothbrush should Robert order each time? And when should he order? What is the maximum shortage under this optimal inventory policy? So now another new thing I have to figure out. So earlier, what did I find out? I found out what will be the optimal order quantity, Q. Now we have to find out what will be the optimal maximum shortage also, right? This is the next thing that we are finding out. Okay. What is the total variable inventory cost per year, right? I hope you got the idea. I hope you got the context, right? So looking back, all these costs are going to remain the same, right? What is the additional thing that we are having here in this context? Additional thing?
Optimal.
S.
We have a,
Yes.
no, before that, the data. We have a unit shortage cost, correct? The shortage cost, we denote it using small p. Okay. Now, in this case, if you look at the scenario, the shortage has cost us two components. What are they? Look at the scenario, tell me. Shortage cost has two components.
Sales loss, future sales loss, and
Okay. How much is that?
$1.5.
1.5. That is the future sales loss. That is that 1.5. Okay. Another cost, what is that? Each employee is spending that 5 minutes with them.
Employee cost.
Right. So that employee cost, both of these things should get added up. So what exactly are my costs here? 1.5, which is that last sales cost, plus How much time is a person spending? Person is spending 5 minutes. So out of 60 minutes, they are spending 5 minutes. What is the wage? They are paid $8.4 per hour. So 5 by 60 into 8.4. I hope this is clear. So this will give me $2.2 per unit. This is my unit shortage cost. Okay, now we move on. Given that this is a scenario with shortage, the formula for Q will also change. Okay, earlier it was 2kd divided by h, square root of 2kd divided by h. Now you will have another component which will be p plus h divided by p, the root of it. Okay, remember there are derivations for all this. Okay, so if you are doing a PhD program or if you are doing some other kind of a program, then how we arrive at this derivation, you can go into details. Here we are only going for an application perspective, right? So I'm not going to get into details of the formula. This is the analytical way of determining it. How we make use of it, that will be the scope of this particular session. Okay, because as managers, you need to figure out how to make use, how to make a decision, right? So that is what we are looking at. So for Q, this is what the formula will be. And for the optimal maximum shortage that we discussed, right? What is that? Yes. For that, the formula is going to be H divided by H plus P into Q. And then in this context, the reorder point, okay, the reorder point can be determined as, so now you can see, look at the scenario, right? Earlier, what did we do? What was the reorder point? It was just demand into L by working days, right? Now, what should I do? I have to account for this negative shortage also. I hope you have understood, right? Logically, I hope you have understood, right? Now I have to account for the shortage also. So my reorder point formula becomes minus of S plus T into L by WD. Okay, minus of S plus D into L by WD. Next, I'll write down all the important things here and then we'll directly jump to Excel for computing. Okay. Then you have the maximum inventory level. This is given by Q minus S. What do I mean by that? You can see here. This is the maximum inventory level, this point. I hope everybody's with me, right? This point is the maximum inventory level, correct? What is that? What is this Q? This Q is the, from this point, if I make an order, what is the total quantity that I'm going to get? That is Q, right? That Q minus the shortage. Okay, that Q minus the shortage is going to be my average or maximum inventory level, this point. Okay, this point is going to be Q minus S. Fine. Next, we have the annual holding cost. And finally, the annual shortage cost. Okay, I hope you all are with me. We had written all these things for the previous scenario also. What is the difference? In the previous scenario, we did not allow for shortages. Now we are allowing for shortages. So if that is the case, the annual holding cost, this becomes H into the maximum inventory level whole square divided by 2 into Q. And the annual shortage cost will be P into Q minus the maximum inventory level whole square divided by 2 into Q. As I told you, there is a derivation for all this. We are not looking at the derivations. We are only looking at from an application perspective what we need. Okay. So all this are the important formula that we need to look at. Okay. Right. Now, what we'll do is we'll create another template. With me? Fine. Open your Excel, open the existing one that you had, save it. Okay. Maybe save it with the name basic EOQ template. Okay. Save it with a name basic EOQ template. Fine. After that, what you can do is you can see here, right? Make a copy of it. So what you can do, file, save as, make a copy of the file, give a different name. Make a copy of the file, give a different name. I hope you all understand this, right? I think explanation is not required. What I am trying to tell you is have one Excel file for the basic EOQ model. We are going to build a template number 2 for the second template. To save time, I'm going to reuse the first template, right? So make a copy of the first file and you will have this. Now here we'll make the changes. I hope you're with me. So now what are we looking at? EOQ with planned shortages template. Okay. Now let me put this also on the right side for easy reference. Now compared to the previous scenario, what is getting added here? What is getting added here? Compared to the existing template. Yeah, lead time is there. Fine. What else? There is the shortage cost.
Shortage.
Shortage cost.
So what I will do is you can see here, you can see this row number 7. Just above this WD, I'll insert another row. Okay, let me do it again for you. Just above, I'm selecting this entire row, WD, right click, insert. Okay, right click, insert. What am I inserting it for? I am inserting it for this P. What is this P? This P is the unit shortage cost. What is my shortage cost? We just computed it, if you remember, $2.2, right? This is my unit shortage cost. And I'll compute this annual shortage costs. And I'll name this as annual shortage cost. I'll name this as P. Okay. So what did I do? Just above the WD row, I have inserted one new row. What is this for? This is to include the shortage cost, right? The shortage cost I have included. Now, let's look at the formula. Look at this. For Q, what should I do? I already have square root of 2 kd by h, right? Now what should I do? I have to change this formula, right? I hope everybody's with me. Where shall I move on? I hope everybody is clear. What are we trying to do? I am trying to reuse my existing template for this scenario, right? So this part remains. What is the new part that I have to add? Multiplied by, tell me the formula.
P square root of P.
Another square root, okay? On the numerator, what do I have? P
P plus H.
plus H.
H divided
So,
by P.
Divided by P.
P.
Okay. I'm leaving the formula here for your reference. This is the new part which I am adding. Okay, multiplied by square root of P plus H by P. Done? You will now be getting a different value. Okay. Will there be any change for n? N will remain the same. Okay. Now, what is the next thing that I have to add? Yes. What is this yes? It is the optimal maximum shortage that I can allow. I'll name it as capital S. What will be the formula here? You see here, right?
H
Equal to H into Q. Let me write all the numerator together. H into Q divided by, for denominator also I'm using a bracket, H plus P. I'm leaving the formula here for your reference. Quickly write this. H into Q numerator divided by H plus P, which is your denominator. Okay. You should be getting these numbers. Is everyone getting this? Yes, no, I can see yes, some people are nodding. I hope others are getting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what exactly does this mean? The optimal order quantity should be, you can maybe round this up, 517 brushes. And what is the maximum shortage that I can allow? Let's say 33. 33 is the maximum shortage that you can allow. And similarly, the optimum order quantity should be 517. Now, why am I rounding this up? Because we are talking about items, right? Only whole numbers. That is the reason why I am rounding it up. You can see the number of orders has also changed, right? Formula still remains the same. However, since I am ordering a slightly higher quantity than 500, the number of orders is also changed. Hope you got the idea, right? Now, let's move to this side. Reorder point. Is there any change to this formula?
Yeah.
What should I do? I have to put a
Demand shortage.
minus yes. Okay, I have to put a minus yes plus the existing one. Okay, I have to put a minus yes plus the existing one. One minute. Just give me a minute to show the formula. Yeah. This is going to be the formula. There is an existing formula. In that existing formula, what did we do? I just have to add this minus s before. Okay. Maximum inventory level. Let me compute the maximum inventory level here. Okay. This maximum inventory level, what will it be? Formula
Q minus S.
Q minus S, which turns out to be 483.78. Reorder point, we have modified the formula. Now, maximum inventory level, done. Annual setup cost, formula will be the same. There is no change. Okay. Annual holding costs, what should I do? What will be the change here?
Maximum
inventory level.
H into maximum inventory level, right? So here first, I will select this cell, select along with the label Control Shift F3, so that now this cell I have named as maximum inventory level. This will make my formula easier. So it will be H multiplied by maximum inventory level power 2. Okay, where do I get this power symbol? Shift plus number 6 on your keyboard. You hope you're with me, right? Shift plus number 6 on your keyboard. If you find that very, very difficult, maximum inventory level into another time maximum inventory level. I hope you're with me. Right? 2 times or just square. Divided by what? Divided by 2 into Q. You can see the formula here, the same thing I have written here. Okay, there should be no confusion. Fine. You should get 33.97. Okay. Similarly, what will be the annual shortage cost? Tell me, what should I write? P multiplied by bracket Q minus maximum inventory level, close bracket, the whole power 2. This is my numerator. I hope everybody is with me, right? I'm writing the same thing here. P multiplied by open bracket Q minus maximum inventory level, the whole square. Then I'm closing this bracket so that my numerator is done, divided by, again, open bracket for the denominator, 2 multiplied by Q. I hope this is clear. I believe there's no doubt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else that I have to add here for the total variable cost? As of now, it says annual setup cost plus annual holding cost.
Shortage cost.
Thank you. I have to also add the shortage cost, which we just computed. Okay, I have to also add the shortage cost that we just computed. This will be your total variable cost. Okay. Fine. Okay. So now let's go back to the scenario. What was the scenario? What am I supposed to find out? Given the 5-day lead time and the shortage allowance, how many brushes should Robert order each time? And when should he order? Tell me, how much should he order? When should he order?
When the reorder, when the remaining quantity is
8.68. So let's round it
8.6.
up to maybe 9, right? So how much should he order? Robert. So what are the things that I have to look at? I have to look at Q. I have to look at reorder point, right? So Robert, let me write here. Robert should order 517 brushes. When should he order? He should reorder when the inventory reaches 9 toothbrushes. What is the maximum allowable shortage? That will be approximately 33 toothbrushes. Okay. What does this mean? Beyond 33, if I am allowing for shortage, what will happen? My total cost will go up. I hope you got the idea, right? So all these numbers, how did we derive? We are deriving based on the overall cost. We are making cost as our measure of performance. Okay, I hope you got the idea, right? We are trying to reduce the overall cost. Only at this point, the overall cost will come down. Shall we move on? Okay. Right. Look at part D. This part D is interesting. Robert realizes that his estimate for the shortage cost is simply that, an estimate. I told you this initially, right? This shortage cost is only an estimate. He realizes that employees could spend an average of anywhere from 3 minutes to 10 minutes with each customer who wishes to purchase a toothbrush when none are currently available. So previously, what did we assume? They spent around 5 minutes. But now we know that some customers will just be like, okay, oh, toothbrush not available, fine. When will it come back? Oh, after 5 days, and they will go on, right? Whereas some customers, will engage in an argument, right? With such customers, obviously, it will take more time, right? He also realizes that the cost of losing customer goodwill and future sales could range from 0 to 20 units short per year, not just $1.5. It can range anywhere from 0 to 20 units. What effect would changing the estimate of the unit shortage cost have on the inventory policy and total variable inventory cost per year found in part C? What should I do? In part D, what is the situation that we are talking about?
Oh, we can't wait.
Sorry. We need to determine the inventory policy for the two extremes. Right? There is a lowest estimate. In that lowest estimate, what was P? I hope you remember the scenario. What was the lowest possibility? $0 plus each person spending 3 minutes. 60 is the total number of minutes. What is 8.4? What is 8.4?
Cost of person.
The cost of the person, right? So this is going to give me 0.42. Okay, you can do these calculations later by hand, right? So this is the lowest possible estimate. What is the highest estimate? Similarly, tell me. For the
$20.
shortage cost, $20 plus
10 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes.
10 minutes and $8.4 per hour. This is the wage. So this will give me the shortage cost up to even $21.4. Okay. So my shortage cost, lowest estimate is $0.42. Highest estimate is $21.4. Now in each thing, what should I find? I have to find what will be my order quantity Q, what is that maximum shortage, and what is my reorder point, right? I have to find for this scenario as well as the second scenario. Find and tell me. You already have the template. You can find, tell me.
US 582,
Sorry,
US 582, 583.
here for the first scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what should I do? So here P, I have to first make it as 0.42, right? So you can see here 582 would be my revised value, 582 point approximately 5, okay? And S will be 153.3. And what will happen to my reorder point? It is minus 111.6. What will be the highest estimate in this case? Reuse the template. Quickly tell me. I hope people are doing. I'm assuming that I am not speaking to
502, 501.
501. Yes, you are right. 501. So what should I do here? 21.4. So revised Q will be 501.75. And what will be S? 3.5. You can see on the left side of my screen. And the reorder point is 38.17. What is the managerial implication? Can someone tell me the managerial implication? We did something, we used a formula, we got something. What is the managerial implication? Quick.
Total variable cost is keep changing. So
Okay, total variable cost is changing. And why is it changing? It is primarily because of the change in the shortage cost.
shortage cost.
Right? This is the lowest possible estimate for the shortest cost. This is the highest possible estimate for the shortest cost. Because of the change in the shortage cost, my total cost is changing. Agreed. What else? Look at the quantum of the impact. What else is happening?
Reorder points are changing.
The reorder points are changing. Okay. First, look at this.
Yeah.
What is happening here?
The quarterly. Yeah, Q optimal order quantities are changing.
It is what?
And
It is
it's
higher,
increased.
right? It
Yeah,
is
it's
higher.
increased.
What does S mean? S is the maximum shortage that I can allow. That is how much quantity I can allow for negative, right? Or in other words, I can say no to even 153 customers, right? Why is that? It is because the shortage cost per unit is less. Because that shortage cost per unit is less, I can afford to say no even to 153 people, right?
Yeah.
Whereas look at the other scenario. Since the shortage cost is higher, I cannot afford to say no. At max, I can say no only to 3-4 people, right? Beyond that, if I say no, automatically my total cost will increase. Hope you got the idea, right? So I am forced to maintain a higher inventory, right? So because of this, you can see what is happening. Even after saying no to 111 people, I can reorder, correct? Whereas in this case, I am being more proactive. The moment things reaches around 38, 39 units, I have to reorder. Here, I am waiting for negative inventory to reorder. Okay, why is that? Because the cost of doing so is less. Whereas in this case, the cost is higher. Okay, I hope you got the idea. So that is why you can see a huge impact in the entire inventory ordering policy just because of the change in these estimate of the shortage cost. Okay, I hope you all are with me. So you will have to put in a lot of effort to figure out what exactly is going to be your shortage cost, because that will help you to decide the change in the overall ordering policy. Okay, right. Look at part E. Okay, I hope everybody is with me. Please look at part E. This is a very, very interesting scenario. Now, initially we said, let's assume that the costs of purchasing the toothbrushes are the same. But we all know when things are bought in bulk, the seller might give you an overall discount. Part E is your seller giving you a discount, right? So let's try and understand the scenario. Closing warehouses has not improved Totally's bottom line significantly. So the company has decided to institute a discount policy to encourage more sale. So who is Totally? Totally is the manufacturer who is going to sell the drugstore toothbrushes. Okay. Totally will charge $1.25 per toothbrush for any order of up to 500 toothbrushes. $1.15 per toothbrush for orders of more than 500 but less than 1000. Okay, I hope you're with me. And then $1 per toothbrush for orders of 1000 toothbrushes or more. So now we are having 3 points, right? Order quantity 0 to 499, cost per brush will be 1.25. Order quantity 500 to 999, $1.15 per brush. 1000 or above order quantity, it is just going to be $1 per brush. Robert still assumes a 5-day lead time, but he does not want planned shortages to occur. So he does not want shortages. Under the new discount policy, how many Totally toothbrushes should Robert order each time, and when should he order? What is the total inventory cost per year? Given this situation, how much will you order? Anybody? You can see the total discount, right? If you are ordering more bulk, that is, if you're ordering in bulk, then you are getting a discount. And in this scenario, they are saying no shortage. So basically, we are talking about part B, right? In part B, there was a lead time of 5 days, no shortage. So what was our policy? whenever it reaches to 42, inventory reaches 42 toothbrush, we order for 500 units. What was that 500? 500 was the EOQ that we determined, right? Now for part E, how much will you order? You tell me. Forget about all the formula, etc., etc. How much will you order? If you are given this information. How many of you say 1,000? Why am I saying 1,000? If I order 1,000 or more, it will be just $1, right? So should I order 1,000? Yes. Yes, Uday?
Yeah, cycle time,
Yes.
number of order cycles will be lesser. 3 times it will be again.
Okay, so you're coming that way. Okay, fine. So total quantity demand is 3,000, right? So
Yeah.
if you're saying I will order 1,000, let me speak on behalf of you. So if I order 1,000, then I'll have to order only 3 times,
Yeah.
right? And I will also get one
Discount.
toothbrush at $1 per toothbrush, right? That is your logic.
Yep.
Correct? But are you accounting for the total cost? Are you sure?
No.
So
As-
if I order 1,000 units at the same time, what will happen?
My inventory holding cost increases.
Thank you. So my inventory holding cost will increase. Because my inventory holding cost increases, my total cost will also increase.
Yes.
Correct? So we'll have to find the trade-off overall. Correct? That is what we need to find. I hope you're with me. We'll try to balance everything, right? Just because somebody is giving a discount for 1,000 or more purchase, many of us are inclined to go for that 1,000 units, right? But that might not be an overall optimal situation, correct? So for that, again, we'll try to look at the total cost and accordingly plan, okay? Please open a new Excel file. Let's build a template for this purpose. Okay. What are we now looking at? We are now looking at building a template to determine EOQ. I hope everybody understands what EOQ is, economic order quantity. Okay, EOQ is nothing but the economic order quantity. We are now looking at an EOQ model with quantity discounts. We'll build a template for an EOQ model, an EOQ model with quantity discounts. Okay. So let's directly jump into building this. So what are the key inputs that I have? I have my demand D. This is the demand per year. So as usual, as I told you, for all the inputs, I'll use a shade of blue. Then I have capital K, which is my setup cost or the inventory ordering cost. Then I have I, which is the inventory holding cost rate. Okay. So this is 3,000. 6.25 is my setup cost. How did I get that 6.25? You can see here this 6.25 setup cost. Okay. What is the inventory holding cost rate? If you remember, 12%, right? 12% of my inventory or the stock, right? That is my inventory holding cost. Okay. So now what I am going to look at, okay, I'm not writing things in the interest of time. We'll directly bring this to Excel. I have 3 categories of discounts, correct? And the price in each one is changing. So for instance, my first category price is 1.25, second category price is 1.15, and in the third category, the price is even less, which is 1. Right? Now for each category, I have a lower limit and I have a upper limit. Okay. These are the range of order quantities. Okay. So lower limit, what is the lower limit? Tell me. For the first category, lower limit order quantity anywhere
Zero.
from 0 to 499, right? $1.25 is applicable. Second category, lower limit. Minimum how much I have to order?
500.
500.
500.
Upper limit
999.
999, right? The moment I order 1000, it becomes the third category, right? 1000, there is no upper limit, so I will put a very large number hypothetically. Okay, hypothetically I have put a very large number, right? Now, what we will do is we will compute the EOQ, okay, economic order quantity, using the formula. Then we will find Q star, which is what I have to order. Okay, I'll explain all this. Then the annual purchase cost, the annual setup costs, the annual holding costs, and finally the total variable cost. Why? Because we need these three costs to figure out the total variable cost. Why do I need the total variable cost? Because I'll have to make my final decision based on the total variable cost. I hope up to this point everybody is clear in what we are doing, right? What will be the EOQ? Tell me. This is EOQ here without shortage, right? So if it is EOQ without shortage, this is going to be my formula, square root of 2KD by H. Okay. What is this H? H is the holding cost. 0.12 into 1.25. What is this 1.25? The unit cost. Unit cost, right?
Unit cost.
So in this case, what will be my formula? It will be equal to square root of 2 into K. Okay, so let me name this as D. Let me name this as capital K. Let me name this as capital I. Okay. Another advantage of naming is the moment you start writing a formula and click and drag, if you use a name, then it will automatically make it as absolute reference. Okay, so let me explain that in detail. So 2 into K into D divided by, as per the formula, what should I write in the denominator? H, holding cost. What is that holding cost? I into the price. So in this case, depending on the category, my price is changing, right? So what I'll do is denominator, I'll open the bracket, I multiplied by C10 in my case. Okay, what is C10? C10 is nothing but the price. Hope you're with me. I multiplied by C10. I'll click and drag this downwards. Okay, so what has happened? ADI, what are that? The range name that I have already given. They will be absolute reference. What do I mean by absolute reference? even when I click and drag, it will refer to the same cell. Okay. Whereas, what is this C11? Earlier it was C10, right? Since I have clicked and, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Sir.
Yeah, okay. So
Yes,
here,
sir.
so here it was C10. When I clicked and dragged it below, you can see C10 has changed to C11. This is what we call as relative referencing, right? So when you use a range name, what happens? If you use a range name, it will serve as absolute reference. Okay. So here I have named this as D, K, and I. If I did not name, what should I use? Instead of this, what should I use? You tell me. If I did not name.
C4, C3.
Yeah, C4, C3, and so on. And I'll have to add a dollar symbol also. I hope you're with me, right?
Yes.
$C, dollar, whatever the number, right? Only then it will make it as the absolute reference. I hope you got the idea. Right? Now, what is this Q star? What is this EOQ? EOQ is my economic order quantity as per the formula, right? What is Q star? Q star is what I have to order. So in this case, for each category, how much should I order? For that, okay, please look at this and start writing this formula. This is pure logic. How much should I order? I have to order the minimum of the upper limit or the maximum of the lower limit, comma, the economic order quantity. Take a moment. I hope you have understood this formula. I have to order a minimum of either the upper limit or the maximum of 0 at the economic order quantity, right? So in this case, I cannot order 500. Why? The upper limit itself is only 499, correct? So if I am going for category 1, I have to order only 499. If I go for category 2, what is the minimum that I have to order? 500. However, this is the optimal order quantity. Since the optimal order quantity is lying between that range, I will order the optimal order quantity. Now look at this. For the third category, what is the optimal order quantity? As per the numbers, optimal order quantity is 559. Okay. However, to avail that discount, what should I do? I have to order a minimum of 1000. And so if I go for the third category, I'll have to go for at least 1000. Hope you got the idea. Now tell me, what will be the purchase cost? Annual purchase cost. Pure logic. Tell me.
EOQ multiplied by price.
Not EOQ. It is the annual purchase cost. So it will be directly the total quantity into the unit price.
Okay.
Okay. What will be the annual setup cost? Look at the formula.
K into
Annual
D.
setup cost. K into D by Q. So in my numerator, it will be K into D divided by, in this case, it is going to be Q star. Correct? Because that is going to be my order quantity. What will be the holding cost? What will be my holding cost? In this case,
EOQ.
instead of H, what are we using? We are using I
I
into
into
that number, right? So it will be equal to I, what is that? That is the percentage into the price, correct? H into, so I into the price will become H into the order quantity,
Yeah.
divided by 2. I hope you got the idea. I into this is H. Why are we writing it this way? Because the price is changing for each category, and so we are writing it this way. Okay. What will be the total variable cost? It will be equal to sum of these 3. Okay, sum of the 3 costs. Once we have written this for the first row, select everything, click and drag for the 3. Right? So now you tell me what is the best thing to do?
prefer
Which category should I go for? Initially, Uday said he will go for the third category and buy everything at $1 per unit, right?
correct.
At that time, again, I'll take your name, Uday. Okay, no offense.
Yeah,
Right? So at that time, he didn't think about the cost, etc., etc. He was only looking at the volume. What was his rationale? He said,
Order.
if I go for 1,000 units, I'll get the bulk discount, right? And I will order only 3 times. Right? I hope you remember. At that time, he didn't do a detailed cost calculation. Now we have done a detailed cost calculation. If we go with that, you can see among the 3 possibilities, which one is giving the lowest cost? The third option is going to give us the lowest cost. So what is happening? The setup cost is the lowest here. Why is the setup cost lowest here? Because we are ordering only 3 times in a year.
3 times. Yeah.
Right? And so the overall setup cost has come down. However, look at the holding cost. The holding cost is significantly high because on an average, we are holding a very large volume. Because the holding cost is only this much, it is manageable, right? And whatever we are having an increase here in the holding cost, it gets compensated in the purchase cost, right? I hope you all are with me. Because of the bulk discount, whatever increase in the holding cost is getting compensated in the purchase cost. You can compare the 3, right? So because of this, the overall cost is the lowest in category 3, right? I hope you're with me. So what is the final recommendation? If the inventory holding cost is only 12%, then the third choice might be the best, right? However, just hypothetical situation, you need not do it, just listen, okay? You need not do it, just listen, look at my screen. However, instead of 12% inventory holding cost, if it were 25%, look at what is happening. Still, the third option turns out to be better.
Even
If the inventory holding cost is 50%, right? Even then it holds out to be better. Now, what is happening? It is primarily because the overall advantage in the price discount, right? It's still compensating for the holding cost. Okay. Only if the inventory holding cost is way higher. Okay. For example, even 0.75, 9. Yeah. Even if the inventory holding cost is way higher, still this turns out to be a better one in this particular scenario. Okay, but it need not be the same in all the scenarios. I hope you understand, right? It need not be the same in all the scenarios. The holding cost might actually increase depending on the other numbers. So this template will help you to understand what to do, what not to do, especially when you are having price discounts. Okay, hope you got the idea. We look at one more scenario, right? We look at one more scenario. We'll quickly finish that. Okay. Yeah. I believe these were shared already. If it is not shared, I'll ensure that it is shared with you later. Okay. Just look at this. One of the largest selling items in JC Watts, this is a different scenario, okay? JC Watts Pharmacy is a new model of blood glucose monitoring device that is highly energy efficient. About 40 of these devices are being sold per month. It takes about a week for the pharmacy to obtain more devices from a wholesaler. So you can see the lead time is 1 week. The demand during this time has a uniform distribution between 5 and 15. The administrative cost of placing each order is $40. For each device, the holding cost per month is $8 and the shortage cost per month is estimated to be $1. Pharmacy's inventory manager has decided to use the inventory model for stable products with a service level of 0.8 to determine an RQ policy. What is this RQ policy? R is nothing but the reorder point. Q is nothing but the order quantity, right? So we need to determine what this R and Q should be, right? So now we are looking at a new scenario. We are looking at a scenario JC Watts Pharmacy. Now, what are the inputs that I have? I have D, which is 40, the demand. K in this case, which is also 40, which is the setup cost. H, the holding cost is 8. And P, the shortage cost is 1. Since everything is given for a month, we are also doing everything for a month. The additional information that we have here is that the service level is 0.8. Okay. And what they are saying is the demand during the lead time follows a uniform distribution. Okay. The demand during the lead time follows a uniform distribution, right? Between 5 and 15. So when I say uniform distribution, there is a lower limit, which we call as A, that is 5, and there is an upper limit, which we call as B, that is 15. Okay. So when we talk about this scenario, right, what we need to determine first is the order quantity Q. We have already looked at this formula, square root of 2kd by h into square root of h plus p divided by p. Now, yeah, substitute the values. 2, what is k? K is 40, d is also 40 divided by 8 into 8 plus 1 divided by 1. So if you do the math, Q will be 60. Okay, 60 would be your optimal order quantity. Okay, then the reorder point R. So if we talk about a uniform distribution, the reorder point R will be A plus the required service level into B minus A. So in this context, what is A? A is nothing but the lower limit, right? What does the uniform distribution mean? What it means is the demand can vary anywhere between 5 units and 15 units during the period. Okay. So here it will be 5 plus, what is the required service level?
8.
80%, right? So 0.8, right? Multiplied by 15 minus 5. So this will turn out to be 13. So practically, what does it mean? What is the managerial conclusion or the decision that we have to make? I have to order 60 units when the inventory level reaches 13 units. What is this 13 units? This is the reorder point. Okay, the moment it reaches 13 units, I'll have to reorder. Okay. Part B is you can build an Excel template. In the interest of time, we are not doing that right now. You can please go back and try that. Okay. Part C, what will be the average number of stock out per year with this inventory policy, right? Now here, what are we talking about? We are now talking about uncertainty. What is uncertain here? The demand. What is uncertain in this context? The demand that we have follows a uniform distribution between 5 and 15, right? The demand in this context is uncertain. Hope you got the idea. Given that uncertainty, what will be the average number of stockouts with this inventory policy? What does stockout mean?
No, we don't have any stock.
We don't have any stock basically, right? So here, to answer this, let's first find the average number of orders per year. What will it be? It will be equal to D divided by Q. So in this context, here everything we found it for a month. The monthly demand is 40, which means yearly demand will be multiplied by 12 divided by order quantity is 60. So we are approximately talking about 8 orders per year, right? So realistically, what are we talking about? When can stock out occur? When we don't have any inventory and when we have placed an order, right? So the probability of a stock out before the order is received, what will it be? It will be equal to, what is the service level that I am maintaining? 80%. So 1 minus 0.8, 0.2 is the probability of the stock out. I hope you understand, right? There is a 20% chance that I might not be able to serve the order, correct? So what is the average number of stock outs per year? It will be equal to 8, which is the average number of orders, multiplied by 20% is the probability of stock out. So on an average, you will have 1.6 stock outs per year. Okay. I hope you got the idea. If I want to avoid this stock out, what should I do? Logically tell me, if I have to avoid this stock out, what should I do?
Either service level to be increased or
I have to increase the service level, right? Yeah. So if I increase the service level, what will happen? Accordingly, my reorder point will also change, right? So let's say I want to make my service level as 99%. What will happen? The probability of stock out will become 0.01 or 1%, right? For that to happen, what should I do? My reorder point will also increase. Here, instead of 0.8, it will become 0.99. So automatically, I'll have to reorder at a very early stage. I hope you got the idea. Fine. I hope people were listening. In the interest of time, we'll stop now. I believe you all had built the model. I believe you all had built the template. I'll share the notes that I have written. Okay, this if you need, I will share. Otherwise, I will not. Okay. If required, if you tell me.
Yes,
Sorry?
sir, we know.
Here it is, sir.
Okay, okay. So people are still there. Okay, I'm happy. Right. So yeah, I'll share this and I will also share the templates that we have created. However, you please try to recreate the template. Okay, you please try to recreate the template. Only then you will understand how to build the template for a new scenario if and when required. Right. With that, I will end. I hope you got something new, something meaningful, right? Something useful. Will you be able to implement this immediately? I think yes. Some of you may be able to implement this in the short run, at least for one or two instances, one or two products that you are handling, right? I can see many comments coming. You were asking me to share. Yes, I will share. Don't worry. Okay. So I'll share the templates. I will also share the notes that I have written here. Okay. Please try to implement one or two, or at least try to think in this direction. Think from the basic standpoint, right? What is the basic standpoint? There are multiple costs involved. What we are trying to do is to find the trade-offs in making the decision, right? So think in that direction. That itself will help you to make better decisions, right? With that, thank you. I had a good time interacting with you all. And please ensure that you get something meaningful out of the remaining sessions of the program. Okay. Thank you. Any doubts, questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
If you have
much.
a
Thank you, sir.
multiple model,
See
you
you
can
all.
share.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Have a
sir.
good day. Thank you. Bye.